So topical back with another video. I'm Strange Wang, he is Nate. Today we're on top 5 sports movies.
Top 5, no debating. Top 5.
He's going to start with his 5 and 4. I'll give my 5 and 4, 3-2-3-2. Then we trade off number ones. We also have something called the Zemeckis rule, which just means if we both have the same movie on our list, but one person has it 2 spots or higher, then we just talk about it once.
Now, these are our top 5 favorites. However, I made a rule for myself personally because if I didn't, it would be 2 movies with a character named Rocky Balboa and 3 baseball movies. I picked 1 sport per movie. So, my first sport is going to be figure skating, and it's going to be I,
Blades
Tonya.
of Glory. Oh.
No, I, Tonya at my number 5. I, Tonya is such a great, fun movie. It's like Goodfellas of sports. The Tonya Harding story is so captivating. The documentary style that they went about it makes it seem so real, and you buy into it a little bit more. All these different perspectives where you're interested in the story, interested in the characters. You kind of have sympathy and you kind of don't, and you know why you don't. And all these things blended together makes for such a compelling movie. On top of that, it's funny. The acting's incredible. It's great to see Barbie not hitting people with a hammer, wearing makeup. She can do other stuff, and it's great. She's a phenomenal actress. Sebastian Stan, he's really good in this. He's such a fucking weasel, and it's so weird seeing him in this and the MCU. Civil War, he's such a fucking badass. The Winter Soldier, such a fucking badass, and then he's such a little weasel in this movie. Paul Waterhauser, he's the gooniest of the Goonies. He's my favorite character actor because of this movie. He's such a fucking Goonie, and I love him because he's a nematode in this movie. And putting all that together in a pot makes it so compelling. But at the end of the day, it's a sports movie, and you're showing me the passion, the hunger, the drive, the will, the need to get better, and the love of the sport. And because of that, with how great of a movie it already is, I had to put it in my number 5.
Nice.
Such a good fucking movie. We talked about it earlier. My number 4 is going to be Happy Gilmore. I love Happy Gilmore. It's phenomenal. Not the same principles as the love of the game, stuff like that, because he doesn't want to play golf. He wants to play hockey. He's just really good at golf. But it's iconic. It's phenomenal. There's scene after scene after scene that I could tell you about that you love, that I love. There's so many quotes I could throw out there that we all love. But it's just the greatest sports comedy of all time.
It's debatable.
Probably, yeah.
That's my 5 and 4. Surprising Happy Gilmore did not make your list.
I thought about it. I thought about it real hard. My number 5 is Friday Night Lights. Is the movie as good as the TV show?
Not really.
But it's a little more cohesive because the TV show, I wouldn't say the TV show full-blown jumps the shark, but it gets a little too far out because they have to fill up all these seasons. The movie, much more compact. Some things happen in the movie that don't happen in the TV show and vice versa. Really, really good Billy Bob Thornton performance. I really enjoy seeing him in movies where it's like he plays a little bit more of a serious role, because I feel like people from my generation automatically think of Bad Santa when they think of Billy Bob Thornton, and that ticks me off because he is actually a pretty good actor. And he really shows it off here. Absolutely heartbreaking story, and a very realistic sports story, and I really dig that.
Somebody asked me the other day, they said, do you think Billy Bob Thornton's a good actor? I said, I reckon. Fresh potato fries.
There you go.
Mustard biscuits.
Yeah, my number 4, I don't know. I don't really know how I feel. I either agree with you that Happy Gilmore is the best sports comedy of all time, or I think it is tied with this movie.
Well, these are our favorites.
Yeah. Well, I know, but I'm still trying to. You brought the argument up, so now I'm thinking about it.
I did.
And so I either agree with you or I think it's tied. I don't think this one's necessarily better, but my number 4 is Major League. Hella funny movie. And it's like, you get comedy cross-blended with every other genre that exists. And there are other sports comedies out there, but a lot of them don't really like super focus on the sport so much, where I feel like is Major League and Happy Gilmore are just as much sports movies as they are like the comedy movie that just happens to be about the sport. Like, there's a lot of focus on golf in Happy Gilmore. There's a lot of focus on baseball in Major League. So they're definitely 1 and 2. I'd probably still put Happy Gilmore ahead of it, but just by a hair. But anyways, Major League's hilarious. I love, as much as I love baseball, I generally hate watching it. I think baseball is one of the more boring sports to watch unless it's like playoff time or like a game that actually really matters. There's just too many, they play too many games. But Major League makes baseball even more interesting than it already was. The characters in it, though, absolutely hilarious. Everyone, even the side people, have their own little shtick, their own little gimmick. But it doesn't take a lot of development to get there, which to me, that's always just a sign of incredible writing. Because I've said that about romantic comedies before. I've said that about dramas before. I've said that about adventure movies before. Some of the best movies, Casablanca is a great example. When you give your side characters so much personality and they're not just there, like they're their own thing within this world, it sends it to a whole new level. Major League is one of the best movies ever to do that, and I dig it.
Because of my rule,
Couldn't pick it.
I had to leave it off.
Yeah.
But we did top 5 baseball movies. You bet your damn ass you can see that on there. And now that you're talking about it, if we do top 5 sports comedies, definitely going to be on there too.
Yeah.
I'm going to have that same argument myself. Which one's better? I already made my decision, so it'll be a little bit easier.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, who knows?
But they'd probably be 1 and 2, for sure. Well, yeah. I don't know. Bad News Bears, you might have it. But...
Yeah, you know. That was your 4?
Yes.
5 and 4. My number 3 is going to be back-to-back Sandman. It's going to be Hustle. Hustle.
Oh, that's a good one.
Is the Moneyball for basketball.
Kinda, yeah.
Like, it's not really about in the game. It's more behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And in this case, it's more of him training and the process of coming over from Europe, learning the American way, while also following this dream, trying to do better for his family. This confliction between him and Adam Sandler about you have to do better. Like, you could be one of the best ever, but you're fucking it up. Mentally, you're not there. I need you to be there. My ass is on the line. I have so much to lose. My family has so much to lose.
Yeah.
We need this. You need this. And it just puts so much pressure without there being a big game or a championship on the line. For you want these people to win, succeed, and for the fucking guy who was the devil's son who said, Popeyes makes the best chicken, to put on this performance to bring me to fucking tears and on the edge of my fucking seat, wanting him to be successful and this kid he's training to be successful, blows my fucking mind that he could ever do that. And I love this movie. It's my favorite basketball movie of all time.
Yeah.
I love White Men Can't Jump. But when I saw this movie, I was like, this is the greatest basketball movie I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
Number 2 for me, you were correct. Bad News Bears. The 70s version, not Billy Bob Thornton. We didn't talk about we talked about Sling Blade enough for this video. Bad News Bears, Walter Mouthout, Coach Buttermaker is the fucking GOAT. He's one of my favorite. He's probably my favorite movie coaches of all time. He is so fucking funny. Has heart, however, he's scummy at the same time, and it makes for a wonderful combination because he cares about these kids, and he gives you the opportunity to see this character development within him. And all the kids, like you said, good writing. You don't need an hour to set up a character. If you're a good writer, you can set up a whole baseball team 15 minutes during the first practice, and that's what this movie does. And you love all these kids. They have all their special gimmicks. You bring characters in, develop those, like Tatum O'Neal's character, Jackie Earle Haley's character, The writing's so good. It's hilarious. To most people, it's 70s, so not the most politically correct thing in the world, but I personally love it because if someone is being racist or homophobic, something like that, they're made to look like the idiot, which is funny. I love Sanford and Son Archie Bunker humor. This film has that. Walter Matthau, though, he is subtle, dry, funny, and you incorporate baseball into that, and it makes for such a fun movie because he has these kids that he doesn't want to let down at the end of the day. And because of that and the relationship he builds with these kids as the film goes on, all that humor turns into heart. And when it comes down to that final game, you want these kids to win. You don't want the kids to be disappointed or let down. And because of that, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. And my second favorite sports movie of all time. My favorite baseball movie of all time. Baseball was the hardest one, though. Because there's so many good fucking baseball movies.
Yeah.
So, it is favorites. That one definitely won't be on everyone's list, but it's all mine. And you're number 3 and none in common so far.
I don't think we're gonna have any in common.
Yeah, not for my number
and
one.
it's mostly because of your rule that you only let yourself have one.
Yeah,
one movie.
Probably. How many baseball movies you got?
2.
Okay.
I had 2. Yeah, I had 2 baseball movies, but that's the only sport that repeats. All the other ones are different.
You already said both baseball movies?
No, I'm about to say the next baseball movie, which is definitely not Bad News Bears. Is Field of Dreams.
Wow, not Moneyball?
Yeah, it was really tough. So Moneyball, I think I was just like, for this specific list, was thinking more along like the sports line. And they're both really interesting, right? Because Moneyball is about professional baseball. And so it is more focused on like the professional sport of baseball. It is about a manager of a baseball team doing things to make his baseball team better, figuring stuff out. And so like Moneyball is like a little more maybe sports centric.
Yeah, for sure.
But Field of Dreams encapsulates
cinema,
but also like the spirit of sports itself.
Okay.
And I think it goes deeper than just baseball. I think baseball is a really good example, or like maybe the lead one, because that is the game that most kids like start playing with their dad first.
America's pastime.
T-ball, I don't think that's true anymore personally, but
it was when this movie came out.
And so like, yeah, a football is really hard for a 3-year-old to grip. Like, it at least specifically in America, like a baseball or like a small round ball is the first thing that your dad or mom or whoever's raising you is going to put in your hand and have you throw to them. Most kids' first sport they play is T-ball. And there's like, I'm about to have my first kid. It's going to be a boy. And so I think about stuff like this more. And it makes me think back to when I was a kid and stuff. And it's like, there's like this really special and interesting thing, I think, that happens when you start introducing your kids to competition. Because it's like you want them to succeed. And it's like you want them to win, but you also have to not be a shit parent and like have to balance like going through failure with them and all this kind of stuff too. And so I think right now Field of Dreams just sits a little bit higher on my list because it is kind of about that like father-son relationship. He's trying to reconnect with the spirit of his dad. He doesn't, he's having these weird fucking things talking to him, telling him to build it and they'll come, all this stuff. They track down this baseball legend. And so for how much it encapsulates like what sports means to people, what a sport can like do for someone in terms of like helping you bond with a very important figure in your life, I gave the edge to Field of Dreams.
That's fair.
Creed is way up there. It's my second favorite fighting movie of all time. It's my favorite boxing movie of all time. I think it is undisputed the best boxing movie of all time.
That's a bit much.
Creed's incredible. Incredibly heartwarming story. Great backstory. Great way to bring this franchise back. with a character that like dies in the third one. Apollo.
Apollo dies in the fourth one.
In the fourth one. Yeah. So, it's just like, not only is it a callback, it's like a really specific one. Like they didn't just pull Rocky into, like, they brought like his whole life, or like this really important person and like event in Rocky's life, brought it way up here, made it make sense. Incredibly shot, wonderful script, some of the best acting you'll ever see in a sports movie.
And I'm not lying!
Can't say enough about Creed. Great franchise. Love it.
Creed would have been my number 2. If I did like just.
And I know they're making more. And
are they?
Yes.
Where have you been seeing this?
Huh? The internet.
Huh.
Where else would I be seeing?
Is it based on the comic book?
I don't know. I don't know a lot of details about it. I know that Coogler and Michael B are working on it.
In the comic book, Creed trains a female fighter.
Oh, I did hear about that also. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Creed's my number 2.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Oh, I know what I was gonna say. If as it stands, I would really have to think about it. But like, if we did a top 5 trilogies of all time list right now, Creed is absolutely on my list.
Just trilogies, or they go beyond trilogies, like Indiana Jones?
I don't know. We'd have to talk about it because obviously, like, my heart says they have to just be trilogies, but then that eliminates Star Wars. It eliminates Indiana Jones.
A lot of things.
It eliminates a lot of things. So,
but my number 1 is Rocky. Creed would have been my number 2. Number 2 boxing movie of all time. It's one of my favorite films of all time. Top 10, without a shadow of a doubt. I love Creed. But Rocky's where it all started. The 1 in a million chance. The motivation this film brings to my body to energize me to feel like I can do better. I need to do better. And shows me what's really important in life. While entertaining me with phenomenal acting. A great story. Fun, interesting characters. Compelling characters is just incredible. It's my second favorite movie of all time. The boxing in it is theatrical, but I'm okay with that because I'm not a sports person. I'm a movie guy. So give me that theatricalness. Give me that 9. Get up. Give me that type of shit. How this film is shot is dirty. It feels like boxing. It's Rocky. It's iconic. Has been talked about and homaged and remade scenes, iconicness throughout since it's been made. Best Picture winner is Rocky's the first sports movie to ever win the Best Picture Oscar. And in my opinion, and not only is it my favorite sports movie, I think it's the best sports movie. The team, the hero, they don't win at the end. That was huge. And Bad News Bears came out the same year and also did that. So, great minds think alike. If you have a sports movie and the person or protagonist loses, I'm probably going to like it.
Oh, you should watch Friday Night Lights then.
I don't know. Well, you ruined it for me. Thanks.
Well, I mean, like you were ever going to watch it.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, well, you'll forget by then.
I would watch it before I watch This Is Marshall.
Yeah, I didn't like This Is We Are Marshall.
I'm Dylan.
Yeah, but we are Marshall.
We are Senate Topical.
That's
Please
true.
Subscribe.
My number 1 is the actual best fighting movie of all time.
You better not say what I think you about to say.
It is absolutely better than Rocky. Incredible movie. One of the most underrated movies of all time. But everyone I know who's actually seen this movie fucking loves it. And it is a little movie called Warrior. And it's very good. It has Tom Hardy and Joel Edgerton. The only, Joel Edgerton's so interesting. He's, in a lot of movies. And a lot of them are really bad. And it's this was his, one, to me, big thing. He's so good in it. Warrior, one of the only to... Maybe it's really the only good MMA movie. I really like Never Back Down, but I think it's just because of when I watched it, and I haven't watched it again in probably like 12 years, and maybe it just needs to stay that way. But Warrior's absolutely incredible. It's about two brothers who don't like each other because of things that happened in the past. And so it's got the emotional beats that you want in any sports movie, but specifically a fighting movie. And pretty much every fighting movie in existence has a somewhat similar formula, unless it's a sequel. But it's always about the underdog, right? Like, every fighting movie ever is about the guy who's either used to be good or is washed up, or everyone thinks sucks, or he thinks he sucks. Like, it's always an underdog story. And I get that. I don't know how else you could really do it. I mean, Southpaw is almost the exception because he starts off really good, but like then something really bad happens that makes him like lose his mojo or whatever.
Prison? You mean prison?
Sure, yeah. Oh my gosh. What if instead of Pretty Ricky Conlon, he fought fucking Jake Gyllenhaal getting out of, or about to go to prison in Southpaw? Would have been a great crossover.
I would like to see if Creed does. They do make another Creed. I like to see Jake Gyllenhaal in it.
Yeah,
he's already ripped from Roadhouse.
I know. Did you watch Roadhouse?
That movie sucks on Washed Toes.
It wasn't good, but it was entertaining.
You thought that shit was entertaining?
I thought it was entertaining.
I was rolling my eyes.
Yeah.
The original Roadhouse.
It's great.
Top 10 worst of the year so far.
But yeah, Warrior's absolutely incredible. Go watch it. You probably haven't seen it. You should go watch it. It's definitely better than Rocky.
Hey, you shut your face!
Nonetheless, these were our favorites. Let us know in the comment section your top 5 favorite sports movies. I'm sure more people will have Rocky on their list than they will have Warrior, because people actually seen Rocky.
It's okay to be wrong.
Scroll back up, hit the like button, share the video, and subscribe.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing. It's great.